I just got this Homelite weed eater. It's a model SX135 Bandit. It's an older model, but this one's in really good shape. Looks like it's hardly been used. Oftentimes what happens when they're sitting for a while is that the fuel lines rot, they get hard and brittle, and they break off. So this is the first thing I have to do on this weed eater. Now I emptied the fuel tank, and this is what the filter in there looked like. It had water in there, and it's pretty dirty in the fuel tank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the fuel tank right off the machine. Now to remove the fuel tank, you have to remove the torque screws right here and 4 down here, and they are a T25. So once you remove the 5 screws, just simply pull the cover out and remove the fuel tank. Now when you remove this cover, you're going to see inside the crankcase. Everything looks good. You may want to clean it up before putting it back together. So now I've got the fuel tank in my hands, and it's going to be much easier to clean that out. I'm just going to start by getting the old lines out of there. There they are. To clean out the initial dirt in there, I put some gas in there. I'm going to plug these 2 holes with my finger, shake the tank, and then dump it out. So here's what came out of there. It's pretty dirty. If you feel there's still more dirt, just repeat the process. Put gas back in there, shake it, and dump it out. Make sure you've got your safety glasses on when you do that, because sometimes the gas can spray out and go into your eyes. So the tank looks pretty clean now. So I'm going to leave it dry in the sun there, just to evaporate any water droplets that may be left in there. And then when I put it back on, I'm sure there's no moisture at all left in there. In the meantime, you can take your fuel lines off. I'm just going to splice this one here a bit. Now on this one here, I'm going to have to remove the small bit of fuel line that's left on there. Just be careful doing this, because the plastic connector can easily break. There, it's good. So now my tank is nice and dry, so we're going to reinstall that right away. So I'm going to put the machine upside down for this. Make sure you've got the 2 rubber bushings that go here, and there's another one that goes on the back of the plastic cover here. Now you want to grab the fuel tank, and the side with the 2 grooves for the bushings go like this. Now before you put this cover on, make sure that the gasket here is good. You don't want any cracks in there, because you're going to lose air. It's not going to run right. And now you just want to turn this around, grab the end with the bushing and insert it in there, and that bushing is going to go into the fuel tank right here. And now just put the 4 torque screws that go here. Make sure you tighten these evenly so that the cover goes back on evenly. That's to prevent any air leaks. And don't forget the last torque screw that goes up here. Now we're going to put the fuel lines back on, and I'm going to save this part of the line here, which is good. This will be the line that the filter goes at the end of it. So I've got some gray Homelite fuel line, which is 7/64 inside diameter. I'm going to start with a piece cut on an angle like this and insert it through the second hole over there. So now what you have to do is turn and twist the line and push down at the same time. You can put some lubricant on it, like liquid wrench. It might help you to slide it through easier. So you got to push enough line through here so that you can grab the end out of the gas cap hole. If you can't reach it with your fingers, grab a wire bent like this, reach in, grab the hose, bring it out to the hole of the gas cap. You can pull out a bit more line if you need to. Now cut the end of the line straight like that. So hold the line out, grab your new filter, and insert it into the line. like this, shove it back in there, and pull on the other side of the line to get the filter back in, because initially we pulled out more line than we needed just so that we could put the filter back on. So you want to pull that line until the filter sits right at the bottom of the fuel tank like that. Now this line here is going to fit at the end of this connector, so I'm just going to cut it to fit. Now that I've got the main fuel line fixed with the filter, I'm just going to fix the primer line. Now the line you're going to need for the primer is 332 inside diameter by 1364 outside diameter, or 0.094 inside diameter by 0.203 of an inch outside diameter. Start by cutting it on an angle, and then insert it into the second hole here. Now since it's the primer line, I only inserted about an inch in the fuel tank. Now I'm going to cut the line to fit on this connector over here. And there we go. So now I'll fuel it up and try it out. I'm also going to remove the cover on the adjusting screws, just in case I need to adjust the carburetor. It's running really rich, so I'm going to have to turn in the screws. So I've done everything I could to adjust it, and it still won't run right. When I looked in the carb earlier, I could see gas going in to the venturi. That's why I had to flip it on its side to get it started so that I wouldn't be fed more gas for nothing. I'm going to rip the carburetor apart. So we'll see you in my next video where I take this carburetor apart, clean it, and rebuild it if necessary.